Hello, everybody. Good morning. And this morning we'll be discussing lesson number two, which is developing the 21st century skills through the work immersion. So basically, in this discussion, we will be talking about how are we going to evaluate the importance of work immersion in developing 21st century skills. At the same time, we will be comparing and contrasting the rate of the existing skill set, and we will be developing plans as well on how are we going to improve agility and adaptability, your effective communication, your creativity and your innovation, and then your critical thinking and problem solving. And at the same time, your emotional intelligences as vital roles or vital components in order for you to survive the 21st century environment. So we beg the question on why is work immersion necessary in enhanced basic education curriculum? Why is it that you need to give and render 80 hours of observation in the work field just for us to develop these skills? We have to understand that the work immersion is a critical experience for you guys, primarily because it develops and prepares you to bigger challenges in college life and when establishing a business or even working in a company. So if you will remember, we've been telling you that the goal of work immersion is to prepare you to become a college ready and at the same time work ready individuals, because the world outside the academe is basically competitive in nature, and there are several rapid changes that could happen in a snap of a finger in the external environment. Now, according to Henson, in the study of nature of workforce, it is actually generally the workforce itself is rapidly changing as times goes by. It is a cliche saying that um, change is inevitable and change is the only constant thing in this world, and that's definitely true. And according to Deloitte in 2014, he identified several challenges that a Southeast Asian employee or companies are facing. The reason why these Southeast Asian companies are basically suffering is that the workforce that we are generating are not necessarily aligned to to their needs. And at the same time, the skills that we are developing in the Southeast Asia is basically disaligned when it comes to the competencies that they were looking for in the workforce. All right. So let's enumerate what are those challenges that they found out. The first thing is leadership, retention, and engagement of employees. We think that, or we have to understand that this particular idea of leadership, meaning Southeast Asian workforce is lacking when it comes to quality of leadership, because leader is not just basically getting a position or not just basically delivering the given task or descriptive task to you as a leader, let's say principal for example. But what we have to understand is that leaders should learn how to connect with their employees and at the same time mobilize them to their strengths, not necessarily to their weaknesses. So we have to understand when it comes to leadership is that it's not about the command, but it's about your instructions basing on capitalizing the strengths of your people. So let's say for an example that, hey, you have to go to your classes for this one, but it's not only about that. It has to have a follow through of observations of classes, for example, feedbacking of classes, for example. This is coming from a teaching profession perspective. All right. So, in that way of leadership, Southeast Asia is having a struggle with that. There are a lot of cases that I've seen already based in my career who really lost track when it comes to their leadership, and what at worst, they're just basically leaders by position. And it's something that we do not want in Southeast Asia. It is something that we want to develop in you, that the leadership is necessary and important. Learning and development is also a vital and challenging problems when it comes to Southeast Asian companies, because most of the companies in Southeast Asia do not offer holistic development for the employees and at the same time do not offer holistic programs in order for their employees to generally improve their capacity as employees, and once they go out from the company, they leveraged already the skills that they are necessary to take advantage. How does it look like? In the teaching profession, it looks like this. Schools are also expected to provide learning and development programs for their teachers, such as seminar opportunities, workshop that doesn't come out externally or that doesn't come in from external, but it should come from within. What do I mean by that? Hindi pwedeng ini-invite lang yung mga tao and pag in-invite saka lang magpapapunta ng seminar. There should be an initiative that seminars would be conducted in school and at the same time um, build these particular skills for the teachers. Another thing or another example that I can give you is that in the teaching profession again, another learning and development program is that, for example, constant observation and feedbacking. All right. Teachers necessarily are also a working a working masterpiece. All right. Meaning we have to understand that they have to grow as well and they have to be given an opportunity to grow at the same time. But in Southeast Asian companies, we're having a hard time to do this. Okay? Lastly, reskilling and human resource function. When it comes to reskilling and human resource function, what we have to understand is somewhat connected on what I have said earlier. However, when it comes to reskilling, it has to have an operation. It has to have a mechanism when it comes to the companies who are operating these particular reskilling. Okay? Ayun. Right? So basically, what are the basis of this? These are based from the demography and regulatory changes that is happening in the workforce. Okay? Now, what we have to understand is that, or why are we intensifying this in school? The academy is the supplier of talent in the industry. It plays a critical role in developing human capital. So, meaning most of the workforce are still coming from schools. Okay? So, as an incoming college students, you need to have a comprehensive orientation and preparation for you to succeed in these challenges of life because we want you to have a higher chances of employability at the same time. And we want you to have or establish the skills that are necessary for you in order for you to build your empire and your good lives as well. Okay? Let's talk about the concept of school work life transition. We have to understand is that school work life transition is a very hard task because most of the time, people are experiencing burnout primarily because they do not know how to separate school, work, and life. We have to understand that this is a transition that you will experience, and this will help you to prepare to shift into the complexities and navigate to the dynamism of the industry environment and the real world. Kailangan marunong kayong mag-separate ng inyong mga buhay-buhay. Okay? So at present, Filipino graduates prior to enhanced basic education curriculum is having a hard time to align their competencies. The old curriculum looks like that there is 1 year for preschool education, 6 years in elementary, and 4 years to high school. But because of the demand, RA 10533 was signed by the former President Noy Aquino that imposes enhanced basic education curriculum, wherein this particular curriculum added 2 more years to basically realign the competencies and at the same time reskill the people in order for them to become college ready, work ready, and at the same time business ready. Okay, so in that particular curriculum, work immersion was integrated in order for them to have a better um a better alignment to the goals that or to the demands of the global market. Okay? So, work immersion is an avenue for developing 21st century skills in agility and adaptability. These are, according to Economic Intelligence Unit in 2008, Three important leadership qualities that we need to possess. One, you need to learn how to motivate staff. Okay? As a leader, you need to learn how to motivate staff, not to demoralize them. Okay? For example, you are a leader, somebody's explaining to you, listen to them. Do not basically use your emotion and then explode because, hey girl, you're a leader. Okay? You need to learn where are they coming from. You need to learn that they also have emotions and they also have shortcomings as much as you do in leadership at the same time. Okay. Second important skill is that ability to work well across cultures. These particular cultures, since we operate in a diversified industry, you need to learn how to respect their religion, their traditions, their beliefs, and at the same time, the morals and values that they basically operate. For so long na hindi naapektuhan yung buhay mo, don't give any care at all. Okay? Lastly, ability to facilitate the change. Just like what I'm saying in the early part of this video, I told you that change is constant and it is inevitable. And what separates from winners and losers in life is basically how do they react to these particular changes. A winner sees it as an opportunity. A loser sees it as parusa, taxing, nakakapagod, or etc. Okay? So those two things are totally different. And what you have to learn is that every change is an opportunity for you to learn. And if you possess that, you'll have the quality to mobilize people. And that's already an advantage in 21st century environment. Okay? So what you have to understand is you have to deal with this positively. Okay? You need to understand that you have to deal with this in a brighter side. In the lines of Catriona Gray, you have to look at it on its silver lining, if that makes sense. Okay. So you may encounter simple or complex issues, problems, or situations during work immersion, but you need to take them as opportunities for learning and development. Apply what you learn, okay, and try to think and see how are you going to benefit from these observations. Okay. So what are the things that you're going to be capable if you are agile and adaptive? One, you'll be able to handle difficult situations. Two, you'll find solutions to problems. Three, you'll perform various tasks. Kaya, kahit ano. Four, you'll understand other people better. Okay, you will know where are they coming from. You'll adjust to different situations. You can communicate well. Not necessarily correct in syntax and grammar, but communication is ability of you to connect as well with people. Take responsibilities. And lastly, manage your activities. When you hone these skills, you will be able to become a resilient individuals who can succeed because you can thrive in the fast changing environment. Okay? Next, so how are you going to train yourself, Sir Pat? Because it's so easier said than done. First thing to do, keep calm. Take on challenges at a short notice. Deal with changing priorities and workloads. Accept them. Do not run from it. And always see a bigger picture of life. Okay? And when faced with difficult situation, find the right person who can help you. Use appropriate tools that will make your lives easier and that will solve your problem or issues. And lastly, this is very, very much important, guys. Bounce back from the setbacks and maintain a positive attitude. That whatever happens, if things goes against your way, always think that it's only a setback. It will still lead you to a better path. And that's how you make yourself advantageous in the 21st century environment. And that's what the skills gives you in this particular generation. If you have any questions, clarifications, feel free to message it in the comment section or feel free to message it in our private group chat and I will definitely answer your questions in that particular platforms. Thank you very much for listening. And if you made this far, you can basically just click the like and share button just to help the channel to grow and help other people as well to have a better understanding on why these particular lessons in senior high school is being given. Thank you so much, guys.